Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Hey, today I want to talk about learning how to live on less. This is something that everybody that retires is going to have to go through. Part of prepping to be retired, I think, is depends also a lot on not just your finances going into retirement, how much you have, is it going to last, that kind of stuff. It's also a matter of prepping to live within the budget and the means that you have when you retire. And that really comes down to knowing how much you're going to have coming in every month, and then what your expenses are. And the best way that you can control those is to write everything down and keep track. So I think one of the hard parts of this challenge really is learning to live on less, is because you have to get used to not having those regular paychecks coming in. I've never collected a pension or a retirement to know for sure. I'm assuming and learning, assuming though, that the checks come once a month. They don't come every week. I know with Social Security, that's how it is. My mom is direct deposit. She gets her money goes in there automatically. She has that to work with. She does get some pension benefits from my stepdad, and I believe she gets those once a month. So one of the changes you have to adapt to is learning that you're not going to get a paycheck every week. And that being the case, then you need to budget more on a monthly basis. I've always been paid week to week. So it's going to be a change for me as well. My wife gets paid every other week. And I've known people in the sales industry that get paid monthly all the time. To me, that'd be a little harrowing. I'm just not used to that kind of a pay structure. I control my bills monthly, weekly, by setting up different accounts, putting money in every account. Every week when I get paid, this much goes in to cover this, and this. So it's a little easier now to manage because we have no debts. Except for the car that I'm knocking out now, and then our next thing is to pile up a bigger emergency fund and more cash on hand. But that's definitely one of the things you have to get used to, is not having a regular paycheck coming in. Another piece of this puzzle, I think, is that the longer you've worked and the more money you've made, the more you've adjusted and adapted your lifestyle to meet those needs, or meet that income. So, for instance, for me, I've worked a lot of overtime for years, and I work it because it's available and it helps. Where I work, we've always said that we make a good living on 40, we make a good life on overtime. Our company has always offered a lot. You don't have to work it, it's not mandatory. Those that do reap the benefits of overtime. So it's helped with my 401k growth, obviously, because you pay into that based on what your percentage is weekly. If you work 10 extra hours overtime, that's a larger, that's 10% of another, $100, whatever. So those things matter. But the more money you've made, the more you're used to having money come in as well. So you're going to have to make adjustments to adapt to that. If I went from a 40-hour paycheck down to what my pension number is going to be, it's about, 2/3 of what I would make on a 40-hour paycheck. So it's going to take some adjustments, and that's before tax as well, obviously. So, and a lot of people don't have the benefit of a pension. It's literally taking what they make, what they have saved, Social Security, and coming up with those numbers. But we have to learn how to adjust to it for not having the bigger paychecks that come in all the time. I'd take some notes because I didn't want to lead you astray and say the wrong things here. But you also have to learn how to make the money you did save, your 401k money, last longer, because you can't just willy-nilly take money out of it anytime you want, because you're going to pay taxes as you withdraw from your 401k. And yes, it'll be a lower amount because you'll be making less money probably. But every time you take money from your 401k until you get it switched over to a standard accounts, you're going to pay, your income's going to go up from that withdrawal, and then you're going to pay more taxes based on that. So if you take out a lot of money and you already have a decent income coming in between, like for me, pension and let's say Social Security, and my wife's income, well, I'm going to pay a higher tax now because I just took our income higher as well. So those things have to be considered before you withdraw. And a lot of people don't take into account that you need that money to last as long as you can, within a reason. So I'm not saying, be a scrimper and never spend your money, because you don't want to regret not doing things because of it. But it's also things you have to keep in mind. So here's some of the other things that I've kind of thought about to go with this, that I wrote down so that I wouldn't forget to talk about it. There's a lot of ways to make your money work better for you as well. Not just a matter of keeping it in your 401ks or whatever accounts you move it to, based on whatever your financial planner advises you to do. And again, so that we're clear, I'm not a financial advisor or planner or anything like that. I'm not giving you advice. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just offering my opinions based on my experience and what I've been learning. So there's lots of things you can do to make your money work a little better for you. One of the things that I am doing now currently is that I'm moving chunks of money from savings and a traditional savings into a high yield savings account, and some into a high yield money market account that have debit cards linked to them as needed. Not so much that I need to be able to get to that money, but if you do need to get to it, it's there, and a debit card makes that easy. I don't need to write checks from a money market account, but having a debit card for a high yield savings and or a money market account can make a big difference, and easier to get to your money. Now, what I've been finding through researching through NerdWallet and some of the other apps out there is that there's some high yield savings and money market accounts that are paying 4 and 5%. It's a pretty good way to have your money sit, especially if you have a savings account and the money's sitting there anyway. You might as well make 4 or 5% on it, versus standard rate right now is like 0.5 at a regular institution and savings. So it's not really working a whole lot for you. You don't have to make gangbusters on it, but anything is better than 0.5%. So if you can put it in a high yield savings or a money market account, get a debit card so you have access as needed, and make 4 or 5%, you might as well. It's easy money for no effort, and it's pretty easy to manage. Some of the other things that you can do to make your money work a little better for you is that, and I know a lot of us have a hard time admitting this, I do as well, is a lot of things that you can buy and purchase and places you can go and do offer senior discounts. AARP is not a bad membership to have. I currently have AAA, so AAA basically gives me the same kind of a discount that you would get with AARP at a lot of like hotels and those kinds of purchases. However, it's a good opportunity to use it. You can get discounts on insurance and all kinds of other things. So take advantage of it if you have it. If you don't have it, you should consider getting it. It's free money, discounts on things you already probably do or buy. It's certainly not going to kill you. And the last thing I thought about today, and especially because the holiday season just got over and we all saw this happening, is that we need to get past this need to buy things that we don't necessarily need just to have the high of buying things. The brown packages with the smile on it are not necessarily your friend. They can eat up money, especially money that if you're on a limited budget. You're trying to go into retirement with some grace and some dignity, and part of that means making your money work for you and spending it wisely. And I just don't see the point or the need to buy things just to have something to open, or buying things because you're bored. Get a hobby, and if you're buying things or investing in your hobby, that's one thing, because it's going to keep you busy, keep you mentally straight, keep your body physically moving, whatever it takes. But you want to stay sharp, obviously. So a good hobby is not the breaking point. But buying things just to buy things out of boredom, or it sounds cool, or it looks neat, to me just seems kind of silly. I've always been that way, though. I'm not necessarily a shopper. I'm a buy what I need and then we're done. type of buyer. So I research sometimes too much, find what I finally want, wait for it to go on sale, and then I buy it. And usually it's stuff that I actually need or really do want. So anyway, just some things to think about. Getting used to retirement income is going to be a challenge for anybody, unless you are a multimillionaire with that kind of money already put away. I am not that guy, but we're going to do our best, and we're going to do fine, and we're going to learn together. So anyway, thanks again for your time. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.